Hey, Kentucky, this is Mary Jo Perino. Tonight, the latest on the pandemic in the Bluegrass. The NCAA is optimistic about November basketball, and I'll talk to a former Cat who has taken the reins at the Berea Police Department. All that and more is next on Hey, Kentucky. Welcome into Hey Kentucky, along with LEX 18 Sports Director Keith Farmer, who is back from his staycation. We missed you, Keith. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Got to do more of the same. Sit around the house and not go a lot of places.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Well,
Listen,
you do what you got to do in this time.
Yes, and you weren't working, so it is a break. All right, Governor Beshear says it appears the state is seeing a new plateau in COVID-19 cases after the acceleration in mid to late July. He says wearing a mask, physical distancing, and avoiding virus hotspots seem to be slowing the spread. That came after news over the weekend that the state's positive test rate dropped for a fourth straight day. The news is not as encouraging here in Lexington. The health department reported 145 new cases over the weekend. Meanwhile, as students begin to head back to UK's campus, coronavirus testing is underway there. From 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day through August 22nd, there are 5 testing locations on campus. And Keith, some good news today. The numbers were still up over 300 positive tests, but that still has gone down, and the positivity rate has once again gone down. So Governor Beshear was optimistic today that things are working.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad when we say that, 300 new cases. That sounds great because we haven't seen that number in a while, it feels like. And so that's good to hear, and let's just keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully that number just keeps declining.
And that's what he said, too. We've got to keep doing what we're doing. All right, now we return to a comparison of how Kentucky has handled the pandemic versus our neighbors to the south. Tennessee's governor says, unlike Andy Beshear, he will not follow the guidelines set out by the White House to mandate masks, close bars, and substantially increase indoor dining distancing. Bill Lee also says beyond the regions that currently have restrictions, he doesn't plan to step things up or shut down the Tennessee economy. His executive orders grant only county mayors the authority to take action. A look at the numbers shows that the volunteer state had more than double the cases of Kentucky as of last week, although they are also testing a lot more people. And Keith, Governor Beshear also did mention that he was on a call with the White House today, and they praised Kentucky, among other states, for following the rules and the guidelines that they had set forth. Tennessee's just not doing that right now.
I mean, in some sense, I just want to say, Tennessee, you do you, because, I mean, Kentucky is trying to do the right thing. At the same time, it worries me that they are doing themselves, because now you got people that are going to be coming across the border, and who knows where they've been. I've seen some of these Nashville bars that are wide open. I've seen some bachelorette parties that are still going on there when, this is going on. Who knows where those people are going after they leave there.
And I hate to just harp on football, but, we want college football back. We have to do these things in all states, not just, in pockets here and there. Like, we need to be doing those things to get that going.
And school's getting ready to start up too, so we need to make sure those students are safe.
Yep, absolutely. Well, as the pandemic and its economic impact drag on, tenants across the state are concerned about being kicked out of their homes. Governor Beshear says a moratorium that prevents evictions from being enforced remains in place, but the process can still play out in court. Renters protected by the CARES Act are also at risk of getting an eviction notice. Legal aid has been hiring more staff to brace for the evictions they expect in the coming weeks. There are also a number of online resources available for tenants in need of help. Some landlords who want to get rid of the moratorium met for mediation last week without reaching a conclusion. They also say that some renters who can afford to pay are taking advantage of the situation. And Keith, that's always going to happen. Any bad situation, there's always people that try to take advantage of it. But there's also people that haven't gotten their unemployment checks from March yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of sympathetic to both sides here. I mean, we obviously know that there are people that have lost their jobs. As you said, they haven't even gotten that help that they needed from way back in March. So they're having trouble making that. And I was kind of shocked by the numbers that I saw that, it could affect up to 220 households that are renting. At the same time, you look at those that are on the other side, and they're just trying to still pay their bills as well for renting out this home or this apartment, and so they too need some help as well. I'd like to see both sides come together and just at least talk about some form of payment to keep this thing rolling along, and maybe eventually they can pay the full amount.
Absolutely. All right, let's turn to college basketball. The NCAA is planning for an on-time start to the season on November 10th. Senior Vice President of Basketball, Dan Gavitt, says while there is uncertainty in the world of sports due to the coronavirus, the organization is planning on moving forward as planned, with many schools, including Kentucky, bringing players on campus, along with others set to return and begin basketball activities in the coming weeks. Gavitt says there is, quote, a high level of confidence that the season will be played. Meanwhile, the UK squad is on a week-long break from on-campus activities. The hiatus is just a break and not corona-related. Thus far, Kentucky's basketball on-campus bubble has been successful. Players have been kept isolated to the Joe Kraft Center and the Wildcat Coal Lodge. And Keith, I don't want to not be optimistic, but of course you've got a plan for the season, and of course you want players and coaches and fans to anticipate that upcoming season. I still think we have to see what happens this fall.
I mean, just like football, right? We were optimistic we'd get 12 games and bowl games, and now all of a sudden we're getting conference only. So we see that things can change in a hurry. So the thing that worries me with this Kentucky team right now is they were doing great in a bubble. Now they've burst that bubble as they've let them go home for a week. I hope they're safe while they're away and they're able to come back and create that bubble once again to remain safe on campus and continue working towards the season.
Absolutely. I hope so too. All right, now on Hey Kentucky, in case you missed it, a review of recent headlines. Senator Mitch McConnell is allowing Republican Senate candidates to do whatever it takes to salvage their campaigns ahead of what Republicans increasingly fear could be a devastating election for their party. In recent weeks, the Senate Majority Leader has become so concerned over Republicans losing control of the Senate that he has signaled to vulnerable GOP senators in tough races that they could distance themselves from the president if they feel it's necessary. And the spicy speeches at Fancy Farm were canceled this year, but some politicians had the annual kickoff of Kentucky's political season on their minds. Secretary of State Michael Adams released a Fancy Farm-style roast on social media that poked fun at mostly himself. Ag Commissioner Ryan Quarles and Congressman James Comer also didn't let the weekend pass without reflecting on a year without the long-standing tradition. And check out Michael Adams' video. It's really kind of funny. It's good stuff. All right, up next on Hey Kentucky, he grew up in the big city, feeling intimidated by police. But now, former UK offensive lineman Eric Scott is the police chief in Berea. We'll talk to him about serving in blue during a turbulent time when we return.